Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogam, Shloka number 14. Shri Bhagavan Sarvatah Panipadam Tad Sarvatokshishiro Mukham Sarvata Shrutimaloke Sarvamavritya Tishtati. For the 6 questions asked by the Arjuna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna started answering. He completed for the 3 words the answer. One is Kshetram and second is Kshetrajna and third is Gnanam. After that, from 13th shloka onwards, Bhagavan started explaining about the 4th topic, Gnanam, Gneyam, the worthy of knowing, the thing which we should know, Gneyam, about what? That Gneyam is told in the Upanishads as the Brahman or the Sat Chit and Ananda principle. Then, while explaining that, Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the 13th shloka, he introduced about the existence principle. Here, particularly, Lord is going to give more elaboration on the existence principle. Later, we will see in some other place in the next adhyayams the consciousness principle, then the Ananda bliss principle. So in this way, the pure existence is described here in different with different words which are generally used by the Upanishads. In the last class, we saw elaboratedly about this existence principle, the Sat, easiness, with so many different examples of the deciphering the flower, and existence is there in any part of it, whether it destroyed and merged in the sand or water and fire and air and space. Also, we discussed about the importance of the meditation on the Akasha, the space, because the space and the light, the Prakasham, Akasham and Prakasham, these two are very, very important principles, important things. Shastra asks the seeker to meditate on it because it is very, very closer to the Atma. Space is not Atma, light is not Atma, but to understand the existence principle of this Brahman Atma, if we analyze, keep on discriminate and observe the space and the light, very easily we can comprehend our essential nature is also like that, and we realize the truth. Now, between the 13th and 14th shloka, what is the necessity of introducing the 14th shloka in this way? Because in the 13th shloka, when Lord talks about this Brahman, Param Brahman, is not categorized as the Sat or the Asat. That word also very, very important we discussed. Here the Sat means manifested, Asat means unmanifested. This manifestation and unmanifestation, something is there and something is not there. All these are Sat Buddhi Pratyaya, Asat Buddhi Pratyaya. Vedanta discusses that Sat Buddhi, Asat Buddhi is there, is not there. In this way, you cannot understand or talk about the Brahman. Therefore, it is called Asat or Sat. We cannot say either this or that, because whenever you say this or that, is and is not, is always refers to the intellectual perception, sensual perception. Therefore, there is a difficulty in understanding this particular thought. Therefore, with the any word, indication of with any word, we cannot indicate or talk and tell about the Brahman. Therefore, there I told you 4 important points. Generally, in the transactional world, we always refer anything of this anatma, relative, phenomenal world with 4 different ways. One is jatitaha. You have to say, talk about something, either this is the cow, this is the horse. In that way, you have to say jatitaha, or this is a human species, these are the animal species, these are the aquatic uh, species, like that, jati. But when we come to talk about this Brahman, this existence principle, it doesn't have ajatimat Brahman. Generally, when we talk about this jati, we discuss, analyze about the 3 things. One is sajatiya bheda, or vijatiya bheda, or swagata bheda. There is absent all these 3 things. Sajati. In the same jati, in the plant kingdom, Vriksha jati, there are again different trees, small trees, big trees, which gives the sweet fruit and the um, uh, bitter fruit. So differences are there again in the same jat. So sajatiya bheda is not there in Brahman. Or vijatiya bheda, there is these are all the manushya jati, pakshi jati, vriksha jati, like that. Again vijatiya bhedam also is not there, because Brahman is ekameva dvitiyam, one without second. And swagata bheda, okay, as like a human being in his own body has got so many differences. Swagata bhedam. My head is not like hand, hand is not like leg, leg is not like the ear. All are different. So like that, in the Brahman again there are any sajati, swagata bhedam is there? No. Therefore, ajatimat, we cannot talk or discuss about that Brahman in this way. Secondly, kriyataha. Kriyataha, for example, uh, riding the bicycle or reading the book, cooking. In this way, there is any action we can add it to the Brahman and talk about it? No. Vikriyatvat, Vikriya. There is no any Kriya in Brahman. The Sat don't do anything. Then thirdly, gunataha, or this is black horse, this is white horse. Differences are there. These are all the red hibiscus flower, pink rose flower, yellow rose flower. Like that, gunam, any visheshanam? No. Brahman doesn't have any such kind of visheshanams, nirgunatvat. And fourthly, it is sambandhatah. There is any relationship with anything. For example, a rich person having the relation with the money. Therefore, he is a dhanavan. Dhanavan. So same way, otherwise somebody is not having money, he is a nirdhanavan, poor person. So a relation between that person and the some other thing is a landlord. So land is a property. In that way also, sambandhatah. You cannot talk in the Brahman because Brahman ekatvat. Therefore, ajatimat Brahma nishkriyatvat Brahma nirgunatvat ekatvat. So because all these things are negated, then how we can talk and explain about the Brahman? So because of these all reasons, then we may come to conclusion that, oh, then there is no anything such like Brahman. You are simply talking. Like that we may come to conclusion and we may get doubt. Therefore, to remove that doubt only, Bhagavan introduced this 14th shloka that also we have seen in the last class. In 14th shloka, no, not like that. Even though Brahman doesn't have any of these things, but how then I can accept that the Brahman is exist? Bhagavan says, through all the expression of the sense organs, okay, and organs of the action, wherever you see in this world with all the creatures, sarvatah panihi padam akshihi shiraha shrotram. In this way, sarvatah, so many faces everywhere. Now that indicates that the existence of those parts and all that is an expression of the Brahman existing. Easiness is there. In this way, Brahman Sat only, existence only, pervaded everywhere and it is existing as the existence. Sarvam avrutya tishtati. So in this way, now here it is a kind of adhyaropa. Oh, so you can recognize through this, through your these material world experience, but that material world is not Brahman, but it is only a existence principle is there. Existence, easiness cannot be removed, easiness cannot be displaced. You cannot do anything with the existence. Therefore, I told in the conclusion that day, adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham yat prapanchate. In fact, there is no anything to talk about the Brahman. You cannot talk about the Brahman, being the Brahman alone is there. But how to comprehend and understand with this limited intellect and the mind? Therefore, Shastra uses the superimposition. Yes, you see all these faces and hands and legs and eyes, everything is nothing but the referring the Brahman only. In this way, the Nishprapancha aspect, the Brahman, is revealed by the Prapancha aspect, means with the manifested Sthula, Jagat, we have to understand and accept and recognize the unmanifest, unchanging, uh, the all always existing, everywhere existing principle, the Sat. After saying this, now today let us see the 15th shloka. सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. Now from here you will see the some contradictory statements, and the same way now as said in the 14th shloka, in these hands are, all the hands are referring the Brahman, all the legs are referring the Brahman. In this way, superimposing on all this, now you may think, oh, Satchit Brahman also having the parts. Parts are introduced. Through these, all these parts, actions of these parts which are doing, you recognize behind that the Brahman existence principle is there. They are there, existence. Therefore, you may think that Brahman has got the parts. No, no. But Brahman is not having apadam apane. To say that, now here in this shloka, three contradictory statements. Contradictory means one is positive aspect, one is immediately negative aspect. One is adhyaropa and another is apavada. What is that? He says here, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Now, before going to see these words' meanings, one contradictory statement is the inner instruments and the outer instruments, Antar and Bahir Indriya Upadhis. Through all this, Brahma is shining. Brahman is existing principle you can recognize. If this, in this way, when we told this, we think that Brahman is having all these actions of, because all these sense and organs of senses and organs of actions are doing some work, some vyaparam. So, Brahman also we are having this kind of some transaction. We may think in that way. So, to negate that, as told in the Brihadaranyaka, Kaivalya, and many other Upanishads, no, it is not like that. He is Sarva Indriya Gunabhasam. Brahman is expressing in the form of the existence through all the guna, means here Sarva Indriya Guna means the actions of all the organs are representing the existence of the Brahman. But is it really Brahman has got the parts, these sense, indriyas, organs? No. Sarve indriya vivarjitam. But through these sense organs or expressions, you recognize it. It doesn't mean that Brahman has got the eyes, nose, and all that. This to negate, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says that this Brahman Purushaha dhyayati iva, lelayati iva, as like this person, no, in this mind, in the reflected consciousness here, the sadhaka as though Brahman is meditating like this Purusha. Brahman, what meditation he will do about what? Why he has to do meditate? In the same way, as though he is doing some kind of chesta. Lelayate means movement, vyapar. As though, but really speaking, he is not doing anything. So, sarva indriya gunabhasam. Now, let us think in this way to understand. When my ears are functioning open, then it hears the sound. The sound is Brahman. Sound is not Brahman. Easiness is Brahman. Now I stop hearing, but I start seeing. Now seeing is, okay, form is, color is, that is again. Now when my eyes and ears are not working, but I smell some kind of cooking dish from my neighbor's house. So the smell is smell of something is, that is also Brahman. So in the easiness, through any sense organ behind, take even the touch, taste is, touch is. So each sense organ, that is the meaning sarva indriya gunabhasam. But in fact, he is not having, he is free from any of these parts. Sarva indriya vivarjitam. Sarva indriya vivarjitam. Now, if you see this statement, according to Kaivalya Upanishad, अपाणिपादोऽहमचिन्त्य शक्तिः पश्याम्य चक्षुः सशृणोम्यकर्णः. Shvetashvatara Upanishad and some Upanishads talks as the Ishvara, as a third person. But Kaivalya talks as a first person. Because until you understand as that you are the Brahman, you need something to say bigger and greater and glorious, the Ishvara. So that is the expression of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Therefore, first I will tell about the Shvetashvatara in Upanishad. The same what we read in the 15th shloka now in Gita is coming there. Sarvendriya gunabhasah vasam sarvendriya vivarjitam. Same line. See here, Krishna borrowed from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Then Sarvasya Prabhumishanam. Here bringing the overlordship. Ishanam. Prabhu. Sarvasya Prabhu. Sarvasya Ishanam. So Ishvara concept. Shvetashvatara Upanishad basically explains about the truth by keeping the Ishvara Tattva as the base. Many shlokas. Now, here and there Brahman were also revealed, but more are Upasana oriented and Ishvara third person oriented. Sarvasya Prabhumishanam Sarvasya Sharanam Brihat. So everybody's refuge, everybody's shelter is that Ishvara, one, the Samashti. That is big Brihat. Instead of saying Brahman, Brihat word is used. That Ishvara is nothing but the Maya Sahita Brahma. Now, Kaivalya Upanishad says, Shvetashvatara itself also says the same thing, but according to that Ishvara, the third entity, Samashti, Apanipado Javanaha Grahita pashyatyachakshuhu apani javanaha grihita. Without the legs he walks, without the hands he grasps. Pasyati achakshuhu, without the eyes he sees. Saha shrunoti akarnaha, he hears without the ears. Savetti vedyam, he knows about everything, but nachatasyasti veta, but nothing, no sense organ, anything cannot know that truth. Here also not mentioned either Ishvara, just because the Ishvara talked in the previous shloka, I am talking about the Svetasvatara, don't get confused. Immediately said, though it refers to that Brihat Ishanam Ishvara. But when you come to the Kaivalya Upanishad, very straight away now, stop beating around the bush. You are that Brahman. Ultimately, finally, I have to declare myself Aham Brahmasmi, Ahamasmi, Ahamevahamasmi, Brahmaivahamasmi. Therefore, Kaivalya, the same kind of expression, but Apani Padoham Achintya Shaktihi. There is no hands, there is no legs, and that is who? Aham. That aham word is important. Apani padaha aham achintya shakti cannot be thought of by any thought of the mind about me. To know I am, what thought is required? Why mind is required? Same way, pasyami achakshuhu, I see without the eyes. Shrunomi akarnaha, I listen without the ears. Why these ears and this has to be introduced? If you don't have ears, then why you have to say you are hearing? Because your experience with this body upadhi, for you the sense organs are very important. Without those 5 sense organs, nothing will be known to you. Therefore, you have to understand from that standpoint and come to know you are not having, you don't require them. This experience is there for all of us in the sleep. What sense organ I am using to be within myself and blissfully? Nothing. No sense organ required, no world is required, no mind is required. Therefore, I am like that. Pashyamya chakshushrunumya karnaha. Further it goes very beautifully. Aham vijanati vivikta rupaha nachasti veta mama chit sada. There everything is mama, me, aham. Nachasti veta mama chit sadaham vedairanekair ahameva vedyah. Vedanta Grudveda Videva Chaham. In Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter also Bhagavan is going to tell that. We know already. Vedaischa sarvaihi aham eva vedyah. Among Veda means to know. By the means of all the to know, all the Vedas saram is about what? Aham eva vedya. Who is this aham? That has to be known. That's why that is the only Gneya Vastu. Aham alone is the Shuddhaham is only Gneya Vastu. Nothing else. If you know so many other things in the world, but it doesn't give the fulfillment. We must know that. That's why we choose to know this Gneyam, because You see in the world anybody, whatever may he known in any different fields, how much he may be great and popular and specialist in the worldly things, but ultimately he didn't get the fulfillment of the life. Fulfillment of the life. What is the fulfillment of the life? While living here itself, fe- feeling the absolute peace, happiness, and security in spite of. If that is happening, then you are a Jivan Mukta, liberated while living now. Therefore, definitely this is the only Gneya Vastu for us. So, in this way, after saying that, then second contradiction statement is he is the Sarva Bhrit. He is the supporter of he means Brahman. Brahman means I. Supporter of everything. Sarva Bhrit. Holder, supporter of everything also. But same time, because I am the supporting everything, if suppose I am supporting my family and taking care of my family, I have a lot of responsibility. Means naturally, unless otherwise I have some attachment to the family, I cannot take care of and all the responsibility of looking after the family. So in the Brahman's case, it is like that? No. Brahman is the supporter and holder of everything, but asaktam, he is totally detached. Totally detached. Just like the space. Space is the supporter of everything, the other four bhutas, great elements, and as well as the combinations and permutations of those four mahabhutas. But space never have any attachment to them. Whatever may happen, changes, distractions and modifications in these four mahabhutas, but space never get affected. But without space, they cannot exist. It is just like that. My nature, essentially my existence principle, I am not attached to anything. Asaktam sarvabhrit. Then third adhyaropa and apavada is, here when I say contradictory, you have to understand adhyaropa, but it is not real. It is only to make you to understand, that's it. Therefore, guna bhoktuhu, guna bhoktrucha. Here in this phenomenal world with this body, mind complex, we go through different changes in our moods and feelings and body also. All the time this prakriti is functioning with the influence of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. Therefore, lot of modifications, vikaras will keep on come and go. That's why one person's feelings and his interest and likes and dislikes are different, and other person's likes and dislikes are different. So in this way, changes happens. And but who is supporting all these three changes and gunas? Just now we saw Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvabhoktruhu. But so Guna Bhuroktura, then naturally who is expressing through all the Indriyas, who is expressing, who is holding and supporting the entire Namarupa Prapancha, naturally he is only enjoying or supporting, he is only supporting The gunas also? No. Nirgunancha. As though, as if he is supporting all these things, but Brahman, the existence, consciousness, bliss principle, I not having any gunas in me, but I am in my presence, the Maya acting. So, because the Maya is belongs to my inner potential power, even that is functioning, acting, it doesn't affect and it doesn't touch. That is the main point which you have to grasp. In the same way, I am in the world, I am in with this body, I am with the people around the world. So many things are going on, happening. It is like this. I will tell you this example. See, in Mahabharata war, why we call Krishna as the Yogeshwara Krishna? Unless he is a Yogeshwara, Sthita Prajna, he cannot teach that Gnanam. That's why he is called Jagat Guru. But if you see the Krishna's life is difficult and sufferings are nobody in this world till date now, including Ramavatar also, as Krishna having the problems and the troubles, difficulties from the day one. The day when he conceived by the Devaki Mata, the problem started. Problem means what? To his father and mother, and then later the night, the day, the first night born, and immediately he has to shift it to the other place in the rain, and afterwards every moment problem facing here and there. But one side Bhagavatam, when you are reading, he is playing with the Gopikas, he is playing with the Gopas, all that. But in between, how many Rakshasas, how many incidents? Now, the highlighted incident is in Mahabharata war time. One side, Bhagavan Krishna taught this whole Gita in such a chaos condition of the war field to the Arjuna without any disturbance. How is it possible? Not only that, when the day comes, he has to kill the Jayadratha by the evening sunset time. All the horses are so tired, and then Bhagavan Krishna said to Arjuna, see, these horses are very thirsty and they are very tired. First of all, they need some relief. Then Arjuna immediately got down from the chariot, and with his tapas and power and arrow, he brought the water from the earth, and he created also a garden, beautiful grass and everything. And Krishna took the horses and made them clean and made them to drink water and eat the grass, everything. One side this. That time Vyasa tells something great and use the word how the Krishna living in that moment of that war field, in that particular situation. Arjuna is doing war. Vyasa says there, just like among the many beautiful women, how the man will happily enjoy that situation. In the same way, utter chaos and the war and everywhere sound and disturbance and the cryings, all that. But Krishna is Sthita Prajna, Yogeshwara. That word is very important, what Vyasa used. He is just like a women, in a group of women, how a man enjoys, like that, he is undisturbed. That is the meaning. That is the meaning. And in this way, why I am telling this incident, Nirgunam, Asaktam, but all these things are happening around him. That's why He just all the time cheerful and calm. And so his life, if you keep on say so many, he could not stop the war. He could not become successful in the his what is that ambassadorship gone as a duta. He could not succeed. He could not convey and made them to understand. He could not stop the war. He could not stop his children drinking and fighting. Please think properly. In the same way, he could not change any of those people, or only one Arjuna came and asked, he taught. But he done his job, and he lived in such a way, and among in his own family problems are there. And see this, this is the greatest difficulty. Who can marry 16,116? That is the biggest suffering. But for the Yogeshwara Krishna, it doesn't mean that everybody can do marry and many and live like that. It is not the meaning. You have to see that state of detachment. When the detachment comes completely, when there is a utter vairagya inside and know the truth, then only. So, like this, after explaining these three statements in this 15th verse, all these are all to reveal and tell, emphasize Sat is like that. One of the Brahma Lakshanam Sat. Now, after that, not only that, moreover, 16th sloka, Bahirantascha Bhutanam Acharam Charameva Cha Sukshmatvat Tadavigneyam Durastam Shantike Chayat. Not only that alone, Arjuna, the living and the non-living beings, Bhutanam. Bhutana means only we think as the living beings, movable. But acharam also, immovable things are also in them, outside and inside. Bahihi antaha bhutanam charam acharamevacha. This Sat, Brahman Sat principle is existing all over, always. This Bahihi Antaha is only a mind concept, inside and outside. Therefore, that word is used. How we can understand this? Oh, outside of the my body, Sat is there. Inside of my body, Sat is there. See, outside means the outer skin level boundary of after that also, or inside my antakaranam, the buddhi is the boundary. So beyond the buddhi, beyond the skin level of the body, there is no, or in between in this body, there is no Sat. No, don't think in that way. Sat is everywhere, we said already. How you can use these words of the antar, bahihi, is only a concept of the mind. It is only an imagination of the mind. But when we talk about the Brahman, this Sat principle, it doesn't have any limitation. It doesn't have space limitation at all. When there is no space limitation, naturally, it cannot have the time limitation also. Again, the best example is our space only, Akasham. Okay, you may talk about the Ghatakasham and Mahakasham, but what, there's no any sense in it. from the standpoint of the space has got any feeling? Sometimes you say we have constructed a wall in the uh, water tub or water bed, in the middle of the water bed. When you constructed a wall, thick wall from the bottom up to that, then you can say water is this side, water is not that side, but water is not where the wall is. That you can say. But when you talk about the space, now you talk about the space. We are constructing the walls and the houses in the space. Now the inner space of the hall and the outer space of the hall, like that we by for transactional purpose, but it doesn't mean the space has got divided, because where you constructed the wall there is also a space. In fact, without the space there you cannot construct the wall. If space is not there, when you are putting the wall there, bricks, then you have to take out that space from there and throw it out. Suppose if I want to construct this dam, all that, they cut the water flow, stop this side, and here they start dig and put the wall. Yes. Then in that particular place of wall, there is no water, I said already. But when it comes to the space, tell me, can you talk in this way? Therefore, this antar bahihi, you cannot talk regarding the space. Very, very important, very subtle. Therefore, in Narayana Suktam, we studied antar bahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitaha. Clear it is? And in this way, that's why we have to come out of these barriers of the upadhis. When we see this upadhi, then there is all limitations. But we are talking about the sat, my real nature, then it doesn't have any boundaries of inside, outside, anything. So, sarva bhutanam acharam charamevacha bahihi antaha. To say this, it is like a kind of superimposition. Now, after listening this, we may ask the question, Swami, you said it is there everywhere, the Brahman aspect, Sat, everywhere it is there, inside, outside, in every body, everything. Then why we are not able to see it? Why I am not able to grasp that? Why I am seeing only the differences, limitations? Naturally, we will ask the question. Further to answer, the reason is, even though it is there everywhere, always, your attention of the mind, your mind has not doesn't have the capacity to perceive it, to understand. Perceive means, because sukshmatvat, being it is very subtle. Why it is so subtle? Anything which is everywhere, always, it should be bigger. Then why you call it as a sukshmatvat? Indriya agocharam. Therefore, because of that sukshmatvam, not because it is very small, so you have to see. I will tell you one example, then you will understand. We know this example already. I have the eyes. The proof is that because of that I am able to see everything since so many years. Now, the unfortunate thing, The eyes which are seeing the everything in the world, but in the whole lifetime, the eyes, they cannot see themselves even once. Don't tell about the mirror and the water reflection, all that. Without all of them, naturally, eyes can see themselves anytime. Because eyes are not able to seeing themselves not even once, then you can say that eyes are not there. No, you cannot say eyes are not there. But if eyes are there, you must see. Exactly same way, because of which everything you are experiencing, everything is supported. That Sat, that is the subject. That subjectivity, Sat, cannot be known, because when the subject is always subject can never become the object. The knower can never become the known. This is the principle. You have to meditate on it, contemplate on it. The subject can never become object, and that object can never know the subject. Therefore, never struggle or try to see. I want to see Atma, I want to see the Brahman, even I want to know the Brahman. Okay, you are the Brahman. You know now. Shastra says, Guru says. Then why you ask the many questions? Because you want to objectify the Brahman as you are generally do uh, in your habitual worldly life. No, it doesn't work here. It doesn't work here. Sukshmatvat. You must know that is tad vigneyam sukshmatvat. And not only that, tad vigneyam, uh, which is another contrary, it is very far, durastham. Very far? No, no, no. Very far. How far? It's very far. That's why in Puranas and whatever we heard, that is, that's why I am also keep on praying to the Lord. When you will take me to call me to the Vaikuntha, when you call me to Kailasha, oh Lord, I am waiting. Then after that, the Jiva will, after death, the Atma, Jivatma will travel like a light, as we see in the cinema and TV movies and all that. Then that Jyoti light will travel through this street, that street, and through that mountains, and goes up, 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 and then merge, enter into the Vaikuntha. Or many other stories. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just went and disappeared in that particular place. Mirabai went into that temple and disappeared. They are all very good to listen as a story. Because, or Shankaracharya went into the Himalayas and disappeared. Nowhere his end of the life really what happened. That's why he sent all of them, all the disciples to the down. Then afterwards nobody knows that what happened. Not only that, generally Shastra keep secret and don't like, never reveal that what happened, how the life ended. Generally, that's why many Rishi stories we know, but how that Rishi died, that we don't know. We don't know. So don't get carried away by such kind of thoughts and the stories. Now, later period in the last century, we know some examples. Take from the Lord Krishna. Krishna Avatara. You know Gandhari Shapam that affected the whole family of the Krishna. It happened exactly. So it is a drama. He is accepting that karma phala prarabdha like that. But Is it true? From the Krishna standpoint, from the absolute standpoint, it is not true. It is only a drama, it is only a dream. So Krishna sat there, then that same Shapam, that iron piece, arrow hit at his feet, bleeding happened, nobody is there. Before that only Uddhava came and got the Upadesham. Then Krishna, Tirodhanam we say, we never say Krishna died. Because Shastra, Purana, Katha don't want to tell about the Ishvara who came in the form of the Avatara. He died. But in fact, about these Mahatmas also, just now I told examples, everybody gone as like all others in the world. Therefore, Rama, how he disappeared, the Ramayana, all that concludes. He entered with all his paraphernalia into the Sarayu river. Recently, I went to Ayodhya and I saw that. So where everybody entered. That place particularly called with some name. It doesn't mean that uh, it happens in Ramana Maharshi life. Everybody saw he suffered with the cancer. Slowly body becomes weak. Many kinds of treatments given. And then slowly the body merged in the Panchamahabhutas. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, people saw how he much suffered with the throat cancer. So this is true. It may have cancer or it may be something, heart attack or like that. Who knows? So it is not a point for us. So why I am telling this, it is durastam. When Krishna said, then okay, good. That's why I am also going to that temple, to that hill. So Krishna is supporting. No. Don't think in that way. Krishna immediately putting a bombshell. It is very close. Antikecha. That sat is the closer than the closest, my dear. Closer than the closest. And it is the bigger than the biggest. What is this contradiction? Now Shankara writes here, it is very far. For whom? For a avidushaha, for avivekis, ajnanis, it is crores of janmas they have to take to get this self-knowledge. For them it is very far. Still I have a lot of sentiments and I have a lot of fear and I have a lot of expectations and I have a lot of imagination. Then you suffer. Suffer forever. But continue. But for whom it is very nearer, closer, for a vidushaha. That is avidushaha, this is vidusha. Vidusha means a wise person, a viveki, a trivra mumukshu, a trivra vairagyi, who is ready to give up everything now and here, like hot potato. For him, very close, very close. But for this imaginary, educated illiterate, see, before education also we are samsaris. Generally in the world, after all the education and knowing this and that and achievement and all that, what change happened? You are a now educated samsari. But samsari, that common problem is there. Samsari means what? Dukkhi. Dukkhi. Samsari means what? Ajnani. So, Atma Gnanam, self Gnanam, self ignorance has not gone. Therefore, before education you are a illiterate samsari. Now you are a literate samsari, educated samsari. What difference is there? So that's why we must have the readiness to change and capacity to change. Prepare yourself to change. What? As the Guru Shastra teaches tells, drop. Drop now and here. Therefore, this much only difference. Otherwise, how can everywhere pervading the Sat Brahman can be far? These words are also wrong. You cannot use, if the space is everywhere, can I say that space is far? I can say your house is far, but space is not far. Because your house, you are, that's why in space there is no distance. In real space there is no distance. But in your mind imagination, this you constructed a earth there, walls. Now you created the point to point, the distance. But space, how you can talk a distance in the space? But we calculate now all the train distance, flight distance and all that. I am asking from the space, a space, you are here and you are there. What is the distance between these two? Then space will laugh at us. What you are talking, man? Distance? What distance means? In your concept mind, you put a point to point and talk. And the time also you created and talk. But in Brahman, me, Sat, Chit, there is no time, space concept at all. So this is the meaning of these two shlokas. Next class we will see more. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tat Sat.